Nobody ever thought this would be necessary, but the time has come. I have sworn vengeance on plants. For too long, they've been stealing my precious carbon kill oxide, and now the only way to take it back is... Oh, damn it! Almost got me with that one. Maybe I should explain. For the last month, the powers that be have been colluding to trick me into eating my vegetables. For you see, they don't really like my new thing, which is running around on all fours naked in the woods hunting not but wolves for sustenance. They say it's been destabilizing the ecosystem, but nobody ever stops to think that that's actually funny. Fuck you and your punchline of an ecosystem. I'll never stop eating wolves. Never! I'm Lyle Rath, and this is Pregame Discharge, the only video game show that wolfs it down. Fucking hated that. Before we start, in case you haven't seen, there's a new Class of 09 game coming later this year called Class of 09 The Flipside. This time around, you play as Jekka, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm in it, and of course Wrath Club is publishing it, so with that all said, here's a little exclusive preview.
What's up, bitches?
What the fuck do you want?
Yeah, and we don't go to school with you anymore, so you can't just come up to us.
Well, no, if anything, I could do what I want since you don't have the principal to squeal to.
This isn't school, it's real life. We'll just tell the police.
No, you won't.
How do you know?
Don't like 50% of women not even report crimes or whatever?
Yeah, so?
So if I punch you in the neck, flip a coin, bitch.
And he's off to his dad's dealership.
Michael Bay is making a Skibidi toilet movie because God is dead, and you're not lucky enough to be. On a similar note, I regret to inform you that as one of the few YouTubers not regularly in contact with minors, I actually just had to watch Skibidi Toilet to gauge how fucked we are when this thing starts breaking box office records, and it's very. That said, believe it or not, Skibidi Toilet for whatever reason turns into a giant robot war with an explosion every 3 seconds. So if we as a society have decided to condemn Michael Bay to some sort of ironic Hammurabian purgatory, I guess this is a fitting way to do that at least. I don't know if there has to be any kind of deal signed with Valve because of Skibidi Toilet's inherent connection to Gmod and by extension Half-Life, even though that'd be pretty easy to remove. I just like the bizarre concept of that happening before an actual Half-Life movie. Evo happened, and just about every fighting game you can think of had a character or something announced through a haze of body odor and screams. Guilty Gear was probably the big one, which laid out its whole next season pass. Dizzy and Venom are coming back. We got to see some new Cyborglet, and Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners is coming in as a guest character, which is weird because she doesn't really throw hands in that show. There are going to be new stages, and biggest of all probably, a 3v3 tag fighter mode. There was a big panel about Fatal Fury City of Wolves, if you're interested in seeing more of that. Tekken unkilled Heihachi again, I think. I'm pretty sure he's died and come back like a couple times. Maybe that was Kazuya, I don't know. Okay, I just looked it up. It was both. We got to see a bit of Terry in Street Fighter 6. Like I said, throw a dart at any current fighting game, and they probably had a trailer for some character called, like, Linda. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero got a new trailer, which basically revealed nothing other than how needlessly thorough they're being with this character roster. I would bet money you absolutely have zero recollection of who Kui is, but he's playable. Fallout London is finally out. For the uninitiated, Fallout London is basically a game-sized Fallout 4 mod that's been in the works for over 5 years. It was all set to come out, about to launch, and then Bethesda released that next-gen update for Fallout 4, and the developers went, "Oh, bruv, you done broke me fucking mod, bruv. Me bloody queen died, and now I can't get the tooth oil, the tooth petrol for me horse and carriage." I'm sorry if you're British, just in general. Anyway, after wrestling with trying to get it working with the new update, I think they just settled on making a tool that reverts it back. So if you're willing to wrestle with a little bit of an installation, it's out now, and a lot of Britishonians worked very hard on it. No Man's Sky got its 200th free update, and it's a major one. As you may or mayn't know, Hello Games is working on a new game called Light No Fire, which presumably runs off the No Man's Sky engine, meaning that any improvements they make, they're just grabbing and folding back into No Man's Sky. The update is called Worlds Part 1, which means there's probably more planned as Light No Fire gets further into development, but already it makes the game look prettier than your mom after 4 AMFs. Seriously, you better call her before I do, or you'll be celebrating another Christmas every year. Castle Crashers is getting its first DLC in 12 years, which revamps the visuals of the game and lets you make your own characters, or download them off the Steam Workshop if you're too pussy. You can still stick to the old visuals if you like them better, and it doesn't seem like there's any new content for the game, but it's a fun one to replay every once in a while, so why not do it as a funny custom character? You surely wouldn't draw anything profane, would you? The Behemoth's other games, Battle Block Theater and Alien Hominid, are also getting smaller quality of life updates and current gen ports. Amazon Prime is making a Like a Dragon TV show. Now, Like a Dragon has a lot of elements that would be pretty weird to see in live action, and I hope they do all of it. I hope it's really engrossing and serious for the first episode or two, and then you recommend it to your dad, and then boom, weird shit. Dead Rising is getting a remake, and they had the brilliant idea to specifically call it Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster so that it could be called DRDR. Why they thought it would be good to call it DRDR is beyond me, but DRDR it shall remain. I'm pretty zombied out, but Dead Rising was always fun. It lets you actually punch into them and rip out their belly jelly, so I don't know. They're making a Splitgate 2, more like Shitgate Poo. That was cruel and unfair. Splitgate was kind of a neat Halo meets Portal arena shooter with an insanely high skill ceiling. It was actually really cool. It's in live service purgatory right now, but it was not a gate of shit, all right? I know I said that. I didn't mean it. I hope it catches on this time. The Olympics are starting an esports committee spearheaded by Saudi Arabia. Now, this isn't actually the first time the International Olympics Committee has dipped its toe into esports. In fact, last year they had a fucking bizarre esports week event, and whatever games you're guessing were there, they weren't. Probably the most recognizable titles were Gran Turismo and Just Dance, also chess, but I don't know if that counts just because you played it on a computer. But from there it goes downhill pretty fast. We got an archery game called Tic-Tac-Bow and a tennis one called Tennis Clash, both of which are microtransaction heavy phone games.
Great graphic. You play for a few days, and then if you don't purchase a net, you can't play.
There was a weird VR Taekwondo game and a sailing one. I guess this sport is called regatta. I might have pronounced that wrong because I wasn't thinking about hating poor people when I said it. Then we got Zwift, which is like a competitive exercise bike app. And lastly, WBSC eBaseball Power Pros. Remember that one? Of course you do. As baffling as these choices are, and they are baffling, I actually think there's an inherent problem with esports as Olympic event, and maybe with gaming as a sport in general compared to regular sports. Namely that video games, especially competitive video games, are constantly becoming obsolete, either via sequels or seasonal updates, or even just fading from popularity in favor of other games in the same genre. Being good at sprinting or even a spectator sport like basketball is pretty universally acknowledged because they haven't made Basketball 2 yet. This kind of shit makes gaming shaky even as a commercial sport, but when you're talking about something like the Olympics, where there's like a big focus on breaking records and the peak of human ability and all that, what do? How do you measure that? Do we lock in the video games now in their current state and then decide that's what we're gonna play forever? Is it just gonna be League of Legends current season at the Olympics every year? Are we gonna fucking bring Imagine Dragons to the opening ceremony? We are gonna embarrass ourselves in front of France. Do you see that they had Gojira? That was actually sick as hell. Anyway, here are the game releases for the month. I'm Lyle Rath, and this has been Pregame Discharge. Come back at the end of every month for more gaming news. And hey, if you like what we do here, I'm in the process of revamping the Patreon right now. So if you want to see some behind-the-scenes stuff, commentaries, and previews of future videos, consider throwing us a few bucks.